So these are a few different types of the hula hoops that I use. So these guys are just straight polypropylene hula hoops. So they're going to differ a lot from your normal PE tubing on hula hoops that you would use in gym class. So these are a lot lighter and a lot whippier, so you can do more technical things with them. And then these guys are more circus style hula hoops. So this is what you would use for on-body stuff. This is what I really recommend for beginners, is getting a bigger size. Because with hula hooping, the bigger it is, actually the easier it is. So if you have a really small hula hoop, that means that you have to move really fast. But if you have a bigger hula hoop, you can move a little bit slower and kind of take your time with the movements. So for example, like a trick that you would do with these bigger circus style hula hoops, and one that I'm training right now, is body splits. So splitting the hula hoops with your body. Oh, I goofed that one up. So we're going to split them with our body as we're moving. And then the hula hoops kind of separate a little bit. There we go. One of my favorites. And then with the more technical style hula hoops, you're able to do a lot of the tricky, kind of more performance-y things that I specialize in. So with two hoops, you can do a lot of textile movements, which basically just means like really technical and precise movements with hula hoops, creating really cool patterns. Like this. And then there's also a style with single hooping as well that's more dance influenced. So the kind of flow aspect of it comes more from dancing with one hoop. Now you can dance with a bigger hoop as well, like a circus hoop. It's just going to be like a little bit slower. But with these lighter, smaller hoops, you can do all sorts of crazy tricks, kind of whipping it around. Oops. Like coin flips, isolations, rolls, escalators, all sorts of different things.
So what are you doing with your hands? I mean, because it's hard to see. What are you doing?
So it depends on the certain trick that you're learning. There's a lot of different hand positionings and movements within hula hoops. I always like to tell my students the smallest adjustment within your hand, arm, or body can make the biggest difference. So it's a lot of micro movements going on at once. So if, for example, when you're doing a chest roll, you're pulling the hoop, extending from your shoulder, but you're also using your wrist to position the hoop onto the arm. As well as the wrist, you're also using your fingers to place the hoop onto your forearm, and you're also taking that finger out to allow the hoop to roll. So with any movement in hula hooping, there's a lot of tiny little parts that go into making the big picture. So when you're doing that roll, you kind of get to a point where you're flowing, where you're not really thinking about those tiny pieces as individual parts. You're thinking about it as a whole. And so that's a lot of what that flow comes from, is not dissecting the small parts of the movement, but making the whole movement part of the dance.